Entropiq side, I think that Nemiga will be lacking in that sense. Unfortunately, we saw some good moments from these newer names and whatnot, but not quite enough consistency. I don't think Ida's balance matches up against Elian. So I think in that sense, to be honest, especially with a CT-sided start, I think it will be the 2-0 for me. So we'll see. I'm prepared to eat those words, particularly here on this first map. But we are indeed getting into the action. Pistol getting started. Nothing too fancy for Nemiga. Yesterday we saw a bit more of a setup coming in with the nades and whatnot, P250, etc. Today we've just got 5 sets of Kevlar, but they have baited out with the sound, running in towards A, walking back towards B. Entropiq, they've bitten a little bit, but they're not spotting anyone, so I'm sure they're very ready for this B hit. Lackey keeping his life, trying to stick around, find some frags, but at the moment it is just about buying time, it feels like. No one going down as yet. Great flash comes over the top. It's Jo and Bella Chonok, those Glocks getting up close, looking mighty fine as this bomb goes down.
Just such a slugfest on this bomb site so far. Of course, lack of utility leading to that 3-on-3 retake. Left side of the generator. 2 fast 1-taps. And just like that, Box is left alone on the flank, though, in window. Brad taps the bomb. Box not facing for the moment. Double peek from Entropiq. Still no frags found between these players as Box moves in closer. Facing behind the pillar. Still one on default. He peeks out and finally falls in the end. No kits for that CT side, but looks like they're going to have enough time. Well, an exciting pistol to kick us off. 5 armor. And I guess the consolation is for Nemiga. They did get the bomb down, so we should inspect the reinvestment.
Again, though, they kind of had the right idea, and it's just this scariness already showing from Entropiq, put under pressure in the very first round with a fake out. That I think they did have an idea of it coming, but it's not like they fully read into it and put more bodies on B. It's well played by Lackey, of course, like I said, to just ultimately stay alive and buy time. So we'll see whether it continues. We have 4 Galils. Beautiful spam from Forrester, though, as that's a 100-0 spam on Box. I don't think he fully understood until he died where he was getting shot from. Off angles here as well to cover out middle. Something a little unexpected, and well, it's been written off, hasn't it? Goodness me. Small bits of damage, a couple bullets landed, but Chill is the only one left, and he onto this world. He gets some good timing onto Nickelback, though. So at the very least, dishing out some damage, but the round itself is just totally out of the question right now.
See what he chooses to do. Of course, T-side, little incentive to save, but it was almost completely unwinnable. Decides, I'm just going to try and walk in B, at least go for a frag, potentially. Best case scenario is probably a bomb plant, as Lackey here, jiggling for information, drops his smoke in the doorway. Lots of spamming, goes the way of Lackey in the end, and Nemiga, they had to play contact heavy. They really only had the rifles, and you saw Entropiq. It was such a good read just to load up mid, that higher-lower setup, and from there, add in the wallbang, and nothing Nemiga could do in this round.
Simple, yeah, effective. And that, I think, is what Entropiq are going to be going for. Keep it easy. Don't stress out too much in these early rounds. Nickelback making money. 1800 comes his way as they try and push through the Molotov. It's a throwaway round, the mid-rush. Bit of armor for a couple of these players. Some P250s, but not expecting too much. And, yeah, Nickelback's going to be loving that. We'll go hunting for a bit more. Maybe a flash around the corner would give him a great chance at this, but it's not going to come, so they have the bomb. No need to take any risks. Nickelback with impatient has read it beautifully, but denied the ace. Unlucky. The MP9 pays for itself twice over, however. And, of course, Entropiq will take the round, having only lost that one money-making machine. So they're all good. Up to 3, and now looking to get their first rifle. So far, it is business as usual.
Yeah, no cracks in the defense so far. Looking good, and even losing the 1 MP9. It's not really an issue, of course. We don't want to be carrying that into this round anyway, but as you can see, no AWP in play, actually. Interesting decision. Maybe they're going to get aggressive here on the rifles instead, as Entropiq. Lots of numbers on A, 3 players here. Double nades as well, so some damage exchanged. For the moment, Nemiga choosing sit passive behind these smokes and not try and contest all these nades early on.
I feel, you know, Vertigo has become one of those maps, though, hasn't it, where this early chip damage or, you know, even chunk damage onto a guy like Idis Balance is incredibly important to pull off. You do need to be careful on the overface, though. Crack angle on that AWP. Elian yet to pull his out, and, well, maybe regretting it. Next round, I'm sure we'll see it. Nonetheless, it's that first kill going the way of Nemiga.
Grouping up towards B now. They've got one player in Gio, still in the kind of T side of mid for the moment. Looks like he's going to come over and join his teammates. And in defense, it's only Lackey. His nearest teammate, Nickelback, is a little bit of a way off. Now starting to make his way over. So there are two on the bomb side, but all these Molotovs are flushing Lackey out of position. Fortunately for him, Nickelback is here just in time to stifle the offense. And you can see how now the bomb is dropped and they're really slowing down. Lackey does go down eventually, but now the rotates are coming. More nades onto front sight. More flashbangs raining over, and Nemiga, they have the man advantage, but there's so much chip damage and time starting to dwindle. It's on such a knife edge right now. Nickelback finds two. Forrester chiming in, and it's just Idis Balance 1-on-2. What can he do from here? There's only 7 seconds remaining.
That's going to be it. Yeah, just save what you have, and, you know, unfortunately, it's not a good sign, you know what I mean? You're starting off weak again on the T side, you had that man advantage, but could not convert, and you know, that is the freest kill of the week. Nickelback gets 2, you know, it's kind of difficult to watch in a sense. Entropiq up to 4. Certainly staving it off. Do need to, I think, get a bit of respect in the early round and just be careful, but ultimately, those crunch moments again, you know, time to put up or shut up kind of thing, and they are delivering in these early rounds. So Nemiga hitting the wall. Yesterday, they pulled off quite a number of clutches, particularly on this map. So maybe we need to see a little bit more of that. Elian almost baited out there, but no shot's going to land on either side of the equation. The buy here, of course, for the T side, pretty weak. They do have the rifles, but that's about it. And, of course, it's somewhat Hail Mary, so they'll be out of money. Even with a bomb plant, it's going to be somewhat tough to buy in the next.
2 smokes, 1 Molotov, 1 minute 15 remaining. We bought one of those Molotovs for good measure. The Idis Balance finds a frag on a player over-aggressing. That's Elian. Krad is next to fall, and despite the lack of nades, the contacting on the ramp is working perfectly, and Entropiq scurrying to get some numbers over here towards A, but even with this 2 in defense, it just feels like there's going to be such overwhelming numbers as Box is selling some pressure, but we can see on the minimap, Om is going back towards B, and unless Entropiq gets some information, it's going to be Lackey all on his own.
Best chance they've had in a while. Down goes Lackey as well. And I think that might just be it. You probably look to save here if you're the A players. One will go down. It will be somewhat of an anticlimactic finish to the round, but Nemiga have managed to get on the board. And I think commendable that they do so. As mentioned, lack of utility going into the final stages. Also overcoming a relatively difficult loss in the previous round. So, bouncing back quite well. Now, for Entropiq, it's kind of paramount that these 2 players save up. Especially Forrester, nice and rich. He can drop some players across if he survives. If not, I'm sure they'll go for it, but sacrifices will have to be made. They've recovered an AWP, recovered an AK, and it looks like they will survive. No hunt coming in from Nemiga. Full respect. Not wanting to lose any players themselves, because, again, money, 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 right? That's what the game's all about. So, should be a comfortable enough buy for Entropiq, but deep into the pockets to allow it to happen, right? So, gotta bounce back. Gotta bounce back quick.
You remember yesterday that we spoke about how even though Idis Balance wasn't always at the top of the scoreboard, in terms of impact frags, he was finding so many, and in that previous round to get that opening pick onto Elian, if he doesn't find that frag, and especially if he loses out and dies, that is an almost impossible situation with the nades. So, good start for him in the last round. Brad already tagged up as well for good measure as Entropiq making a lot of damage here early on and not getting so much success out of loading up numbers here on A right now.
I'm not trying to catch a player around the smoke. Or they're thinking about it, aren't they? Yeah, Crad's on his way. Your Bogdan's just as he gets down as well is when Crad comes around the corner. So maybe he could have found him there. Gonna be watching sandbags and taken out by the right eye peak. That's a rough one. And certainly, you know, speaks to Crad maybe not doing his AWP warm-ups before we get in. 5 on 3 all of a sudden. Ox will get dropped. Alien able to just about survive. It's a little weird here. Box didn't really have the support, so they're going for a double pump, and it allows the CTs to get into a slightly better position. So, somewhat confused as to why we've slowed down, but slowed down we have.
See what Nemiga choose to do from here. I mean, they have to know for sure that numbers have rotated in, but again, I disbalance. That pivotal time where they had to make a decision where to hit. He finds a quick frag, opens up the bomb site. Jaya traps Nickel back in towards Ivy, and the frags make the decision for them. A bomb site is wide open, and Lackey again, that B player, faced with so many solo situations and retakes, and I'll be surprised if he even attempts this one. He's hanging around for the moment, but how do you deal with these players in these positions? Look at these afterparts, they're so strong.
He's going for it, though. He's convinced in his ability here. At the very least, maybe not fully committing, right? We're not seeing him tap the bomb as he's not spotted anybody as yet. So maybe after an exit or two, of course, pretty common save area towards this right-hand side. Ooh, didn't see the shadow. No one's really called it for him. Get the one kill, and he's going to go down to the bomb. He does indeed. So at the very least, they don't take him alive, but all the same, he will go down. Makes the round costly in terms of the finances, the rebuy for Nemiga. But they're up to 2, and of course, Entropiq going to have to hold on here with the buy and probably go for a half.
See how it plays out. Forrester's gone for the hero A1S. We don't see it so much on the CT side, but I guess money was out of balance, and as we've seen so far, Elian is actually favouring the rifle a lot of these rounds over the AWP, and clearly if there's any opportunity for Entropiq in this round, he's got to come off Forrester, and he's almost done 200 points of damage in 20 seconds. That is exactly what the docs ordered.
Yes. Mr. Crad, in behind enemy lines, is somewhat of a risky spot, but information above the smoke, he does some damage. Misses out on the head, but all the same, he sets up a bit more damage for Forrester. So things are actually looking very, very good here. 5 on 4 and very low HP bars. Now, of course, all we have is this A1S. Let's do some risky stuff. He's just going to get spotted, and he's spammed down pretty low. That might be the chances at the round dissipating a little bit. The damage is still on the card for me, but the round itself, Nemiga can just utilize the utility. Hey-ho. And work their way into the bomb side pretty easily. We'll see what the USPs can get done, though. Crad's dropped the bomb at his feet, and he gets a second before going down. It's suddenly gotten ridiculous. They can just use the numbers, I think, to pull this in their favor. Off angles galore. Nickel back with another, and now Ida's balance on the AWP. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you're up against, really. This is going to be tough.
3 players to find, and Nickelback decapitates immediately.
Yikes.
And oh, if you're Nemiga, that was the gimme round, wasn't it? Up against the pistols, the one hero ball M4, and what should have been an amazing opportunity to stabilize their economy has swung it right back, and Nemiga's money behind this buy. The buy is good, but the money in the bank is awful. And Entropiq having won that eco, they got a lot of money in the bank. That was disastrous for Nemiga on their map pick. Not a good way to start off this first half. Scary stuff.
Yeah, that is going to be a yikes. You know, the rifle rounds have managed to work for them eventually. It just gives them a steeper hill to climb. Never easy, I think, to deal with rounds like that as well. You have to very quickly just reset the mental, forget about it, move on. And that is always easier said than done. So, Entropiq. Really good spot for them to be in if they can deny the bomb plant away here. Absolutely on the money. Nemiga going to go for a contact flash in just before the replenished smoke comes down. Oh, a counter flash comes in from the CT side, though, and it is one better. Crad for 2. Chill inside a smoke here. Might just be able to get away with something a bit cheeky. Finds himself an AK. And I was going to say, I think that's heard. Yeah, absolutely. Crad follows the sound, takes another, and that's surely got to be the round. The big 3K from Crad, bit of support from the boyos on the flashes, but all the same, Entropiq up by 3.
Such a great adaptation by Entropiq. Remember the last two full-on rifle rounds? It was late A retakes, late contacts. They got Nemiga the frags in the position, and Entropiq, they changed it around. They said, let's save our nades, use them late when they come to retake, and you saw smoke onto the ramp and the flashes, and it kind of fell apart there for Nemiga. It's a nice fadeaway kill for Gio, but time dwindling. These two players are going to save. The money on the remaining 3 isn't good at all, and now that anti-eco loss is really biting them in the back. What do you do in the next round? Do you buy? It's such a difficult call.
Never easy in a position like this. I mean, they're really not in a good spot. They are going to go for it. I would say for me, we need a pause before a scenario like this. You know what I mean? You've got to start utilizing them a little bit more on the Nemiga side of things, because Entropiq are not going to let up, not going to give you room, and they will use pauses of their own. They're in a position now, actually, where you'd go, okay, we drop around against a weird, you know, put together buy like this. They'll probably take a pause to make sure that it doesn't get much worse. Player boosted up in the form of Chill on that Deagle. We use him early, gets spotted, and Lackey will take him down. So into a 5-on-4 very quickly. They tried to go for something cheeky. Not going to happen. Entropiq again. Very passive, very safe, taking no risks.
Elian back on the AWP as well for good measure. And instead of playing A and trying to force it out, instead locking down mid passively from in CT spawn, making use of those longer sight lines and allowing his teammates to play 2 apiece on the sites. And you can see on the minimap, Nemiga are really struggling to get any position here. They're so passive still across the map, and they've decided we're going to walk back in with 2 here on B whilst our teammates are setting some pressure on towards A. And see how many rotates it pulls? For the moment, not overreacting too much are Entropiq.
Keeping it together. We do have Nickelback at the backside. Lackey with an early peek. Ooh, finds a headshot round the corner there. And in comes the rotations. Nickelback out in the open, but he looks good. Fire all over the place. Bomb drop. You know, hand forced of Nemiga, playing to the tune of Entropiq. And, well, it's over quite quickly, apparently. 7th round in the bag. They only lose the 1 player.
I admire the ambition from Gio. Through the flames, trying to make something happen, and too hot on the feet that barbecue was. He went down. It was a nice shot from Lackey. His balance goes down in good health in the end. Up to 7 is Entropiq, and Nemiga's money is in the bin, and maybe my prophecy, prediction of 2-0. Feeling a bit more confident now I've seen the start of Vertigo. This is not looking good so far for Nemiga.
Yeah, I think so. I think it is all starting to come together very nicely for Entropiq. Yesterday was the slight slip-up day to let things come close against ITB, but they kind of realise the position that they're in, that you can quite quickly breeze through if you get the 2 victories. And like we talked about a little bit, Nemiga's probably a team that they have a bit more experience with. And they are, I was going to say, get into that phase where they're just walking on water. However, I disbalance. Gio will take 2 heads clean off. Not before they've lost 3 players themselves, and of course a fair chunk of HP. So, still looking pretty good. Gio, we've seen in the previous round, has balls of steel. Just going to have to dry peek his way into this round. And there's 2 players at the back of the site ready to go. What are they planning? Simple trade, I suppose. Elian on the quick scope misses out, but Nickelback is here to help him, of course. And they should be able to deal with Gio pretty easily. There you go. He gets his 5-7 out. The AWP's not quite working in this round, but they'll win it all the same. Bit of damage from Nemiga. No bomb plant, though. This is key for that Entropiq side to keep denying these bomb plants.
Yeah, not to mention the Entropiq money is starting to get a little bit nerve-wracking, and as we get to the later stage of this half, there's not going to be an opportunity for Nemiga to break that bank and force them onto the pistols. All important round, though. It feels like Nemiga need to get some more traction here. They have to stabilize, and Elian gets aggressive. Admire the proactive play, but obviously didn't connect there. So nice idea, but didn't work out this time around.
quite there, unfortunately. Box with a nice Molotov gives them some space for now. But again, you know, we've got these simple nades. You know what they're for, but they're not quite sure where you want to go with them. Cheeky 1-for-1. That's a wide swing from Forrester. Slight bit of overconfidence. Nickelback will trade things out 3 versus 3 and exactly even on the HPs, to be fair. So it is about as dead even as it gets. Nemiga need to do something with this, of course, and it looks like they're still edging towards the A-bomb site. Nickelback with a keen position change. The old setup here. Still does have a chance to maybe catch them off. Nice smoke keeps the AWP out of play, and Nickelback, therefore, is isolated. So a good find. And now a 3 versus 2 to allow the bomb.
Yayo not planting in the standard spot. That would have been his death. So good news on that front. Good after plants, though. You can see Chill here just waiting sandbags. Got Gyro can pivot around that crane position, and of course I just balance in towards Ivy, and only a flashbang on the CT side. How do you root out these T players? A little bit concerned that a player could be on the bomb, but that is not the case. Lackey's here towards Ivy. I disbalance. Bit of KZ there to get out of the way, and here Lackey even saving would be a bonus. He doesn't get that far. An important third round. The scary aspect is, though, Entropiq still have money. So Nemiga looking good, but needs to keep this rolling. I want to see a strong T side on their map pick.
You know, it's funny because I had a thought pop into my head. I had the same one yesterday when Nemiga were in this exact position where it's like a 12-3 is not much worse than a 13-2, or not much better, I should say, than a 13-2, right? So then they went on to win. So maybe if I kind of come in with that sentiment again, it might give them some good luck. We'll have to see. But yeah, indeed, the same idea applies here. As we are both touching on, consistency is super important. You have to get it rolling there. CT side, we know that it's pretty good, but you need that 5 or 6 rounds to work with. And Entropiq still in a pretty good position to deny all of those away and more. And you know, this team, different to one win, very easy for them to change things up in an instant, right? It's exactly what we're seeing here. Instead of going for those more conventional smokes, they've left things a bit more open, actually, over at ramp, looking to take the fight. It doesn't necessarily come their way, but they have displayed some dominance, dished out a bit of damage, and Nemiga kind of stuck for ideas, have not really gained much ground in the early minute.
Bit of a spam there. I wonder if I disbalance saw the legs of Crad up there on towards the crane. Nevertheless, there's some good damage, so I'll take that one, that's for sure. Again for Nemiga. Seen it so much throughout this game and also against one win yesterday. These T sides are so slow. They love to sit back, let the CTs burn their nades, and everything happens in the last 30 seconds. As we can see, Box here doing its absolute damnedest to sell as much pressure as possible. Bomb is over towards B, and look at Entropiq. They still got 2 committed here. They haven't fallen for the fake at all, and Nickelback finds the first. Mollies are good, but the time is not. 7 seconds, 6 seconds. How do you get the bomb down here? There's not going to be enough time, and Nemiga a victim of their own kind of cautious play in the end, and goes for the jump as Brad. But Nemiga tried to slow it down, and it didn't work.
Yeah, and I think, you know, one of the things that stands out to me, they're leading with the bomb. That really does force their hand. They can't necessarily... I think if you're going for a later push like that, the bomb's got to be in the middle of the pack, so you can sort of body block the way in and get that plant. And you might be forcing it a little bit, but when you've only got 15, 20 seconds left to make the play, you're forcing the whole thing, you know what I mean? So I think leading with the bomb screwed them a bit there. Any chance in the round, but damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of scenario. Maybe reading into things a little bit too much. Nice double nade comes in here for some good damage. Crad. Peekaboo on the other side of the smoke will take out Box for the first. Chill has found Lackey over on B, though.
He's got the site.
He's got the solo play, yeah, and there's no one here. There's no one. A really, really solid read, to be honest. You know, this is the general setup that they go with, and we have been seeing them lean more towards A, especially as you see in the elevator room. They're listening, you know, are there people down there? Yes. Okay, I'm going to commit. So they fake it out. They make some noise on A, and that indeed leaves B vulnerable. It does require an individual to find the frag, but he does so. And now we've got the bomb down in 3-on-3, Alan.
Oh, there's a player coming in for the flank in Crad. Oh, Chonok's already there. They've already lost one player, though, as Nemiga is Gio playing around this smoke. He's on the pallet. Brad finds another. It's only Gio remaining. He did his best in that situation, but for me, Crad on the flank to find that frag and then come up from behind. Good game sense, good proactive play, and at the moment, it's hard to see the holes in Entropiq's defense. Even when Nemiga are finding openings, it's so difficult for them to close out the rounds, and clearly that's reflected in the scoreboard at the moment.
I think, to be honest, the early, 20, 30 seconds of that round's one of the better ones that Nemiga have had in terms of reading and, sure, you can argue relying on an individual to find a kill by himself is somewhat of a risky play. But you're a little desperate. It's gotta be done, Jesus! Lucky's gone absolutely flying. Good God, that is, I guess because you're going down a level, it goes a bit further, but yeah, he just went so far. Oh,
beautiful, beautiful. You love to see it. We call that the Batman in the business.
Yeah, bro,
swooping down and catching them by surprise.
Oh my goodness, I love it. I love it. It is. I think Batman is probably the hero because he does a lot of jumping off buildings and landing behind you. Oh man. And he's back up, you know what I mean? There's no one there to trade it, so they're able to reset. And, yep, setup is solid on B. I think that's got to be the round, you know what I mean? You've just bamboozled them so much. 5-on-3 now. They'll try and do a bit of funny business themselves. We've got the Krieg out as well to fight at range, but rotations are coming in. Ooh, another head lost. It's a bit problematic. Jo flashed up by his teammate. Whoopsie daisy. All the same. Nickelback, caught with an 8 out. Still alive, but a 3-on-3 retake. Again, looking pretty doable for Nemiga. Stacked on top of each other. Jo doesn't see them coming around the fire. Boxer's got him, though, for the double. And that is massive. Elian, still a good chance at this. Bomb has yet to be planted. And, of course, the AWP in a 1 versus 2. It's hard.
Elian even go for this? Does he even attempt the retake? 16 seconds remaining. I guess the bomb hasn't even been planted at this point, so good reason to stick around. But what is happening? Carnage in the smokes, standing on top of each other, and Nemiga wins the round. And early on, you remember, 5-on-3 scenario with Entropiq in good positions. What we have to say is Nemiga, in terms of walking onto bomb sites, they are so good at finding the entries. Here was the Batman move, but overall, even a good as entry as that came to no avail, as Nemiga are so good at clicking heads. They just walk into the sites. These guys are such good individual talents.
Yeah. Cursed them out a little bit, didn't I? I said the 5-on-3 was pretty much won, but not the case. Nemiga, as always, I think they have been a team many times in the past. They actually stuck together with that kind of core 5 for quite some time. But they've always been a team that have the explosive energy. There was a time a couple years ago where that was pretty effective at this level, but we have, over the COVID era, I think, started to build up a lot more, tactical play styles and more thought-out teams with, indeed, your individuals, but a bit more of a system behind those individuals rather than just shooting heads. So we'll see here. Final round of the first half. Forrester, one of only 2 M4s in play in this round. Oh, beautiful. Catches Chill off guard as well. Gets himself an easy double. Idis balance. Trades back 1. Forrester with another, though. Having a hell of a round. He's been a little quiet, but he is popping off. So is Idis balance. Forrester now trapped, waiting for his teammates to come in to help him out in this 3-on-2. Now just a 2-on-2. And what's happened there, Lackey? The smoke must have got in the way or something. I thought surely that was a freebie. Not going to be the case. Bella Chonok will find the final kill of the half. And again, Nemiga have just about done it, Alan. Finding the 5 rounds. We talked about how important they were going to be. They're able to hit it. We saw the CT side yesterday. So Entropiq, the ball now in their court to prove us wrong and see if they can get it done. However, we will have a short break in between, of course. We'll be back with half 2 of Vertigo in a few minutes. you know, felt like they should have picked up those final couple of rounds. They let a 5-on-3 slip away from them. It allows Nemiga to hit 5, that all-important 5. Is it enough to work with, though? That's going to be the question that we continue to ask throughout the half. We don't have much time to wait here in the pistol, as they are setting up for a B hit by the looks of things. And, well, Nemiga are quite ready. Midas Balance finds the first frag here in towards middle. Ooh, down goes Lackey, down goes Elian. Things looking very, very good. The 3-man setup plus the nades will result in a good number of kills quite easily here for the CT side. Forrester, the only one left. He does find a head. He does find a second. Maybe be a bit careful here, boys, to keep coming at him like this, giving him a bunch of headshot angles to work with. But the 1 versus 3 looks pretty good. And surely not long for this world. Indeed, he will get jumped by the 2 remaining CTs on that B bomb site. So very clean stuff from Nemiga. Well read. They were ready for the B hit. And, yeah, works out very well.
It looked good. Midas Balance as well in towards mid. Immediately fragged his opponent, and then from there, it was pretty easy going. And as we can see, Entropiq deciding to swallow their pride. We're going to take a full eco here. And just think about getting rifles out in the next. Nemiga, though, this is such a good opportunity. Get some money in the bank, build up some confidence. And they are on the CT side, so running this back is definitely not out of the question.
Pretty slow for a round like this, in fairness. Stolen is this Nemiga mid setup. Exactly what Entropiq did in their anti-force buy round. Of course, it's not really a force buy, it's just the P250s, so maybe Nemiga overthinking things ever so slightly. Not an awful lot going down at the moment, just a few spots here and there from both sides. And a small creep behind enemy lines, but not really going to push forwards. Really winding the clock down here, I think Entropiq, unfortunately for us, kind of on the broadcast, as it were, hoping that there will be an overstep somewhere, and, well, they might have just found one. Nickelback on that P250. But probably all we're going to get, to be honest. Jo a little low, but if he just hides away, it should be all good. Slightly wider faces from the MP9, and he finishes them off. So, easy stuff, business as usual there for Nemiga. It is, of course, into this round. The early rifle by Alan. What are they going to do? And does it work, of course, for Entropiq?
Yeah, of course, though. The when you go for these early buys, saving seconds, you actually almost always are really lacking in the utility. And as we can see here on the overlay, Elian, no smokes or Molotovs. Really lacking in the flashbangs, actually. So come the late round, could be tricky to get up onto the bomb site. The constellation is because you're buying early. Eastside, so unlikely they're going to have an AWP in place. You can afford to, you know, use those AKs, play more contact heavy. And being a team like Entropiq, I assure you we're going to see them play aggressive on this T side. Starting right here with Nickelback. Great opening.
Indeed, looking to continue and find a little bit more. Forrester chiming in. Will bring it into a 4 versus 3. So things looking relatively good here for Entropiq. The A-bomb site pretty vulnerable. There's a quick flank coming in from that MP9 if you keep your eyes on number 3 on the minimap. But in terms of denying the bomb plant and whatnot, it's going to be pretty much impossible. Chill. That works. I thought he was going to go down there, but Elian caught off by the old crab spray, I suppose, into the 3 versus 3. Again, keep your eyes on this flank. It is very quick. Whether they'll be watching for it, I don't know. And it seems like he is making headway. Flash in towards IV, but Lackey while blind finds the frag. Here comes the MP9, good for 1. Forces Forrester's hand, and he wins the hard fight against Chill. Box, not really much he could do with the low time, will work his way out. It's a difficult retake there, a big test for Nemiga, and they're not able to get it done. My man dabbing all the way down to the street level. And, of course, Entropiq finding number 11.
I believe we call that the layman's Batman. It doesn't go so well as you come off the building.
Lucky.
Oh well, let's continue. Forrester there for me, hero of that round. That frag in that 2v2, when he was getting pinched from either side, was crazy good. If he dies, I think Nemiga take it. So, good on him. Good start now on the T side for Entropiq, and looking at the money in the bank for Nemiga, there is an awful high balance in this round, but following on from this is going to be difficult to buy again as Gio, a much needed opening pick. Good job he found it. Nemiga, an opportunity here to stabilize on the CT side.
Small one of that. Entropiq now kind of looking stuck for ideas. Some early nadage. Trying his Elian over on the B-bomb site. It's uncharacteristically slow for Vertigo. Nickelback, meanwhile, the charge over on A. 20 and 13 right now. Really looking good. Balance turns away from the flash, but it's all fine and dandy. Finds himself a frag. 5 on 3. Very good position right now for Nemiga.
Tricky spot for Entropiq. Of course, in this situation, all you can do is look for Jules, and Elian isolates the one-on-one, opens up B. Chill here, just an MP9. He has no interest in fighting for his teammates. Joe, that's a good flashbang, but even so, he's going to fall. Even scenario now, a lot of shots exchanged around the smokers. Do reply back as Forrester. How is he finding all these frags? And from what should have been a slam dunk, it's just balance 1 on 2.
Wow. And surely there's no way he wins this. 0 utility, no kit, right? AWP, yeah, it's just not going to work. And he knows it, so he has to get out of there, unfortunately. Goodness gracious. Entropiq, this is what we're talking about, man. The pressure on, and they will perform a hell of a lot better than a lot of the caliber of teams that Nemiga have probably been scrimming against at the moment, and of course playing in the past couple of weeks. And definitely more so than 1 win. So, you can never write him off. You've got to be careful. Saw a small taste of it in the pistol, you know what I mean? With Forrester, finding 2 quick headshots. Keep throwing yourself at that scenario. You could have got a few more. Well, we see it here as he answers massively with the rifle. Crazy.
Look at that. That was also 2 rounds ago, so even so, it's nice to see Forrester looking good. And actually, of course, we love to talk about Elian, and certainly there were questions about where's the backup coming from in the players, but I have to say, for me, Forrester in the last 2 or 3 months has improved massively and is now a solidified top player. And clearly, as we've seen in this map so far, he showed up to play, and he's actually held Entropiq in some of these rounds. If he doesn't find these multi-kills, I'm not sure where we are. At least an even game, if not Nemiga in the lead.
Well, somewhat of a B stack coming in here. 4 players ready and waiting, the AWP included. Mac-10 leading the charge, though. A decent enough read. High balance, good for 1. Chill will hold through the smoke, but the AWP has importantly gone down. Finds its way into Chill's hands, but they've gained a lot of ground. Bomb should go down in a second here. And it kind of becomes a save mission, doesn't it? Especially because no one was really giving a face across to this AWP. Belachonok going to try and push forwards on the P250. I think they've just got to get the AWP out of here, and indeed they do. So, yeah, it's already hightailing it. Belachonok gives his life for the cause. Entropiq, though, will find number 13, and very quickly looking down the barrel of the victory. Nemiga have got to pick it up here on the CT end.
Really important that Chill saves this AWP. Nemiga needs to be buying in the following round. They can't let Entropiq get up to 14 and have money in the bank up against an eco. Crad is in behind, just slipping past Chill as he was hiding in that corner in the yellow position. So, oh, it's getting spicy. It's getting spicy. Chill, oh, he does fall in the end. Crad finds the frag, and Nemiga, without saving that gun over, they are still going to buy in this scenario, but it's not going to be good at all. They have rifles, but the nade's going to be very lacking. Entropiq, this is a great chance if they win this to force the eco and be so close to picking up their opponent's map pick.
Well, bit of speed here from the T side to try and get some control of that ramp area. Heavily smoked off by both sides. Spam's coming through. Nickelback eventually eats some bullets. Nice Molotov pushes. Box into an awkward scenario. Nade to follow up onto Nickelback. Oh, Forrester going to fall pretty quickly as well. Not looking good. 5-on-3. Oh, the AEK of Lackey as well, kind of lacking. Elian traded out instantly, and now Krad is the only one left against 4. Nemiga have fended it off. It was, like I say, a quick approach from Entropiq. Really worked for them. Hello? Chill asleep at the wheel. There? Not sure. Might see him disconnect in a second. It looked like he was a little bit asleep or just staring at the mini-map. Even then, not a single bullet. I could feel, you know, you're staring at the mini-map, you might miss a couple, but even I can get some out when I'm just looking at my mini-map, you know what I mean? It seems he's here, I think. I'm not calling a pause. I think he's swapping around to his knife and from his pistol. There you go. So, yeah, dunno, mate. Dunno. Bit weird. Happens. But all good, they got the round anyway.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And certainly, from an economic perspective, if they lose that one, it's probably map Entropiq, let's be honest. Or find. Goodbye now coming into this one, and we're looking at Entropiq's economy and saying they're pretty worse for wear as well. In fact, whoever loses this round is going to have nothing in the bank unless they make some saves. Most important map of the round of the map so far. That is for certain, as Entropiq have decided we're going to change this up, get aggressive in towards mid, and they gained a lot of space here, but no frags just yet. Nemiga, though, it's difficult to react. How do you rotate when you've lost such a huge portion of the map?
Yeah, difficult. Very difficult indeed. They're just going to try and hold, you know, what they can, really. Touchdown nade somehow does 0 damage. Just let that sink in. Nades are always a bit crazy. Flash over the top to clear out the ramp area. So they're really giving it the runaround at the moment on this Entropiq side of things, making Nemiga guess, making them, you know, spread the resources, not really sure where to sit and stack. And it's pretty important on Vertigo where to know where to put your CTs. Lackey with the perfect timing finds box. And now a 5-on-4. The A bomb site looking vulnerable. Retake smokes are in play pretty quickly, however. They are hit fast. Nickelback is covered out by Elian. A risky bomb plant. He didn't know there were 2. All the same, they get it down. 5-on-1 very quickly. Falls apart. I was actually trying to say 5-on-3, but yeah, it pretty much instantly fell apart there. Entropiq right back to it, up to 14. Nemiga again lacking consistency.
Such a massive response from Entropiq, and not to mention keeping 5 players alive after such a set of brawls on the previous few rounds. It's quite the statement, and looking at the investment here from Nemiga, they're already saying, guys, let's play for overtime. It's only the pistols out for Nemiga, and despite that, Box still finds an entry, so maybe there's a chance here. Entropiq drop the ball here. They'll be so disappointed. Forrester, though, nice reply and lots of ground gained here on A.
Nice shot coming in from Lackey. You pretty much seal the deal. There was a sneaky man in behind, but Idis Balance quickly dealt with. Box and JO probably... Hold on, I feel like JO's overspent into this round. And Box, of course, has got himself an AK. So it will be 15. 7 in a row to get it done on their opponent's map pick. With Overpass coming up next, of course. Yep. Things looking good for Entropiq. What more can we add, really? It's a fantastic map for them up next, and not a great one for Nemiga. So, things looking rough.
$15 it's going to be. Entropiq, as we spoke about before the series started, there were some questions about their map pool towards the end of 2021. We were saying Vertigo, which had been a kind of a home map for them in the past, had really tailed off, and based off the evidence we're seeing right here at the moment, they've done some work. And remember back actually, Scrib, to that first half, there were 2 or 3 rounds which are criminal losses for Entropiq, and had they just cleaned up their play on those rounds a little bit, this wouldn't even be remotely close. This would be, what, 15-4? Maybe even already a map win. So, Nemiga looking very worse for wear right now on their map pick. Scary stuff.
Very, very worrying indeed. But we'll see. We'll see. Backs up against the wall. This is where, you know, we see the grit of teams come to the forefront, if there is any, if Nemiga can give us a bit of something, you know. We talk about that momentum for the course of the series and whatnot. Would be nice to prove to themselves that they can get it done. You know, it's got to be disheartening. You had such a great CT side yesterday, and today, not so much. So, slow start, Entropiq. Back to it. Ooh, I disbalance with the aggressive angle. It is somewhat risky, but they were not ready for him. So, 5-on-4, secured for just a sec. Forrester back in with that trade over on A, brings it into a 4 versus 4, so it looked good for a second.
Nickelback's taking space in mid. So many CT players around him. Surely it's only a matter of time if he gets peaked. Indeed, he does. Nickelback falls and the rotator so heavily onto this B bomb. See Gio here is blocked with the smoke. The bomb is dropped right in front of him as well for good measure. Not to mention the flank. Everything is against Entropiq in this round as Nemiga. Forrest is still here. Goes down in the end, so a good round in isolation for Nemiga. Of course, a lot of work to do to make this overtime, not to mention the money in the bank for Entropiq. Going to be repeated by. So a good start, but a long way to go if we're going to see OT in this first map.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. All the same, I think we wanted a bit of a good start, you know what I mean? Again, if they can string another one together here, it would be better than they've been performing throughout the course of this here second half. Forrester up quick. Might as well pull it out, boys. We got the money, we got the rounds. And it is an awful lot of control gain. Usually we see some tit-for-tat back and forth in and around the ramp area, but no real chance for Nemiga to display their presence. And it does mean as well for very limited utility we've seen Entropiq gain this control.
Passive angle from Midas Balance. It's all the way back on A, and actually Nemiga kind of giving up the B bomb site for the moment whilst playing retake A. Got some good utility, so that'll come in handy on the retake. Entropiq should be able to get the bomb down here. Indeed, Nickelback does. And the question is, how does Nemiga use this utility? It's very rare to see a 5-on-5 retake. This is going to be absolute carnage.
Yeah. This is going to be a bloodbath, and I mean, it is for the game, of course, on the Nemiga side of things. Idis Balance watching on the edge of that smoke. Just misses Elian, I suppose. Time running down here, but they're waiting for all the smokes to dissipate. 1-for-1 so far. Big damage spammed through the smokes by these AKs, though. That is kind of a key thing. There comes Lackey and Forrester chiming in. One apiece. It's falling apart. And now just chill. There's no time. There's no time, to be honest. Game is done. He will fall for good measure. And that will be that. Entropiq taking it very convincingly. That final round, you know, unfortunately not quite coming together. Plenty of utility, but I think, as we talked about, the pressure and the high-octane gameplay that Entropiq bring in these late-round scenarios, just too much for Nemiga in the end.